All right, so anyways, Simba's out there in the desert. He's left his family and the comforts of home, and he's discovered by Pumbaa and what was the little rat's name? Timon? Yes, he's a meerkat, right? Which are very cool things. And they discover him, and this is sort of his transition into adolescence. And he kind of finds, and this is, I would say, more typical of the male transition into adolescence, because females, of course, hit puberty so much younger. The males who aren't very attractive when they're young, and just starting to undergo puberty, they're not very attractive to females. They tend to clump together in gangs and manage the transition over what it could be 7 years. So, and that's what happens here, is Simba joins this little gang of, these guys are all right, but they're a little on the primordial side, you might say. One of them is basically just a walking gastrointestinal tract, and the other one is, he's not so bad, but he's like, a foot high, really. What good is he? And so he's got some second-rate companions out here past the desert, but he's out of childhood now, and now he enters the adolescent world. And what happens here is that very quickly in the film, he goes from being a little cub to a full adolescence. There's about a 5-minute transition, and so it's the next stage in his development. And now he's out there in this paradise, which is kind of strange because adolescence really is no picnic. But the idea here is that he really doesn't have any responsibilities, right? None. And that is one thing about adolescence, and even the stage of life that you guys are at, is you have lots to do, but you're not really responsible for anyone other than yourself. And so even though you might be quite burdened with your current responsibilities, it's nothing compared to what it would be like when you have responsibility for children, for example, or for the people that are working for you, or whatever. So anyways, out here, it's a kind of impulsive place as well. And adolescence is like that. We've had high school students try to do the future authoring program, where they have to think 3 to 5 years down the road. It's like, forget that. They just can't do it. And I've watched them, and what happens is you immediately become aware of just how little high school students know when they're like 15 or 16. 3 to 5 years, forget it. They don't have the world knowledge to project themselves out that far in the future, not even close. And so we've built a high school version that helps them design a better future 3 to 6 months down the road, and even that's really pushing it. But adolescents are more impulsive, and they live more for the moment, and there's some utility in that. I mean, being impulsive and living for the moment is one of the things that gets you pregnant as a teenager, and that is certainly one way that the species has managed to propagate itself. And so positive emotion and impulsivity are very tightly linked. And so he's out there in this adolescent delusional fantasy. That might be one way of thinking about it, but more importantly, he's out there where he's in a domain now where the impulses of the moment basically take precedence. And so, and I think they sing some song about, Hakuna Matata, right, which basically means do whatever you want and tomorrow will take care of itself, or something like that. So it's very impulsive and lacks all responsibility. One of the things that I would recommend to you if you want to protect yourself from ideological possession, shall we say, is that when you hear people speak politically and they don't say anything about your responsibilities, you should probably stop listening to them. Because whenever they're trying to offer you something, if it doesn't come along with an equivalent cost, there's something being hidden from you. And they're appealing to the part of you that's, well, I would say, at best adolescent. So